In any discussion on technology-enhanced learning, student engagement is an important topic. In this video, we've invited Dr. Evan Pickett from Faculty of Science at the University of Hong Kong to share his approach to enhancing student engagement online. First of all, Evan asked a question for us to think about.
The main issue is whether students actually are engaging with the topic. And I think one of the things that we really need to do is to try and evaluate each time we put something online whether that is actually engaging the students in a useful way.
Whether students are engaging with the topic in a useful way. No matter what kind of technology-enhanced learning we provide, we just can't ignore this fundamental question. In this video, Evan will share his analysis of student engagement in 2 Common Core courses and make recommendations. Before watching Evan's sharing, let us take a minute to think about why it is so difficult to engage students virtually. Research shows that there are some significant barriers: physical distance, lack of interaction, and psychological distance. To overcome those barriers, Evan has tried to increase interaction, bring closer the distance between the teacher and the student, and analyze students' engagement patterns. Firstly, let us see what Evan does to increase interaction.
There are a few things that I've been using, one of which is I've been mostly doing Panopto for recording videos. I've been trying to mix up activities. So one of my main kind of strategies for keeping students engaged is to try and keep any video short. Keeping it as kind of smaller chunks, I think, is something that is useful. And then in between those chunks, trying to add in activities. And I'm using Moodle for this at the moment. For the 2 courses I want to talk about, I have used quizzes as an activity. And I've also used the questionnaire kind of function as an activity. So they basically serve the same function.
What we can probably learn from Evan are to make short videos. Design a series of activities between these videos. The key is to keep it interesting for students. More details about the 2 activities Evan mentioned in Moodle can be found using these links: Moodle Quiz and Questionnaire. They're not difficult to use, worth trying if you haven't. Secondly, what can be done to bring closer the distance between the teacher and the student? Evan has carefully sequenced his videos. Let's see how he does that.
I have 2 courses. They're both Common Core courses, so they're quite large. I think Common Cores are in that area where a lot of students who aren't necessarily interested in the topic may not engage as much, and because sometimes the topics are a little bit easier, especially early on, they're less likely to engage. But for my first course, I have done so far just 1 tutorial on that. What I do for these is I'll have kind of an introductory video, an activity, and then once I go through their responses on the activity, I'll create another video to discuss their responses. And I'll pick out certain answers to, say, the questions I put out, and discuss those on the video as well. I also tried to keep it a little bit more interesting. So that tutorial normally included us going outside and doing a kind of field trip type thing. And so because we couldn't do that, obviously, I went outside with a camera and I filmed what we were doing. I've got photos up on there so that they can actually have a close look at, we're looking at trees in that tutorial. So I've got a good clear photos of trees. So there's a lot of things for students actually have to do, and they have instructions for doing that on Moodle. So they have to watch the video. Then there's another video that I put up on YouTube showing the trees. I've got a bunch of photos on Moodle, and then an activity. So you can see here, there's a little bit of lichen on tree 5.
The ideas are: have an introductory video, collect students' responses, and remember to follow up. The follow-up proves to be very effective. Then, use rich multimedia materials in different forms, including photos, videos, and illustrations. Thirdly, Evan has analyzed students' video watching patterns. Let's see what he has learned from it.
70% of students viewed that video, and then 56% of them completed the activity. So there was a bit of a drop down there, but it's about 14%, which if we look at the next courses is kind of interesting because we did the same thing. They viewed a video first. That video includes information on assignments as well, so it is a little bit longer. It's about 30 minutes, I think it was. And then they completed an activity online, and I also have the follow-up video on that. The interesting thing is that 68% of people viewed that first video, so basically the same number. It was 70% last time. But the number of people who completed the activity was actually much higher. It was 89%. So there are students who are doing the activity but not necessarily viewing the video. And I think part of that might have to do with what the activity actually is. So I think what's going on here is students have looked at the activity first, seen if they can actually answer those questions, and then some of them have probably gone back and watched the video. And some of them haven't and just completed the activity. So yeah, 90% of people completing activity, I think that's very, very good. And then 49% viewed a follow-up video.
Impressively, an interesting, challenging assessment task can motivate students to complete it and also watch the related videos. In Evan's case, nearly 90% of the students completed the task. We have some further suggestions. Align the assessment with the intended learning outcomes of the course. Specifically, one task activates one or more verbs. For example, identify, explain, and analyze. Meanwhile, don't always test memorization. To summarize, we introduce 3 ways to enhance student engagement: increase interaction, bring closer distance, analyze student engagement patterns, and continuously improve. We are keeping exploring new ways. Please share with us your ideas. Another useful way to increase interaction and bring closer distance is to find better ways to communicate with students. If you are interested, please refer to this video, providing feedback and communicating with students online. Thank you, Evan, for sharing with us your approach to enhancing student engagement virtually.
If you want to find more information about technology-enhanced learning at HKU, you can go directly to this link here. You can also find many resources in our CETL website, such as assessment, experiential learning, community practice, and so forth.